Hi, I'm Jim Wright, president of the Station of the Cross. Throughout our lives, we spend a lot of time working hard, taking care of those we love, and trying to make a difference in the world. We can continue to make an impact even after our Lord calls us home. Have you ever thought about the legacy that you want to leave behind? The Station of the Cross wants to help, so we've partnered with My Catholic Will to make it easy for you to make your will. Through My Catholic Will, you can write a will in as little as 15 minutes, and it's free. When you write your will, please consider a legacy gift to the Station of the Cross to help pass on the Catholic faith to future generations, perhaps even your own family members. Thank you, and may God bless you and your family.
Discover the timeless beauty of our Catholic faith with David Fielding's Our Faith and Light of the World series. These beautifully illustrated books bring the life of Christ and the teachings of the Church to life for children and families alike. Reverent artwork, engaging stories, and thoughtful activities inspire young hearts to understand the faith and grow in love for it. Find these and more at castleofgrace.com, where faith and family meet in every page. That's castleofgrace.com.
Do you want to help confront the nefarious attacks on the unborn in our families? Would you like to join the fight without spending time or money? The Pro-Life Legal Defense Fund is offering listeners a free pro-life, pro-mother, pro-child, and pro-father flag for you to fly at homes, churches, and businesses. By flying a flag, you have the chance to influence minds and save lives. Go to PLLDF.org for a free flag. That's PLLDF.org. Don't delay. There's strength in numbers, and our nation is waiting.
The Catholic Current, bringing Christ to the world and the world to Christ.
You are worth my time. You're worth my undivided attention. God is blessing us by putting us together.
It's funny because people talk about quality time, and honestly, I think it's more about quantity time. But if you're actually engaged with them, whatever it is you're doing, you're spending quality and quantity time with them.
The Catholic Current, 5 p.m. Eastern, from the Station of the Cross and on the iCatholic Radio mobile app.
Unbelievers often reject religion because it sometimes causes conflict. They'll say, science will fly you to the moon, religion will fly you into buildings. Is this a rational basis for rejecting religion? The answer is no, and here's the reason. First, just because something causes conflict doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. For example, many wars have been fought over land. Does this mean we should do away with the right to private property? I don't think so. Second, the objection doesn't specify which religions cause war. It may belong to the essence of some religions to spread its message by the sword, and these we should reject, but it doesn't belong to all religions. So, to the question, should I reject religion because it causes conflict? The answer is no. I'm Carlo Broussard with the ready reason for Catholic Answers, Catholic.com.
Catholic radio has just been a lifesaver for me. I still listen to it every day. I start my day with it. I listen to it all day long as much as I can. I am very grateful for it.
It's just an amazing thing to have, as I am new to Catholicism. Obviously, it's not only helping me, but it's helping so many other people on their walk.
Thank you. God bless you for iCatholic Radio. It has changed my life.
Donate today at thestationofthecross.com.
The Station of the Cross began broadcasting in Buffalo, New York in 1999. Since then, our listening areas have multiplied and expanded into several states. While our mission is to grow the Catholic faith through radio and other media outlets, our apostolate is supportive of but independent from your local diocese. Through your generosity, we are able to inspire countless listeners with the gospel and help lead them to a parish to be spiritually nourished by the sacraments.
This is Joe McClane, and you're listening to the Station of the Cross, proclaiming the fullness of the truth with clarity and charity.
Heard around the world on your Android and Apple mobile devices.
Go into the world and and tell every man that you meet, there is a man on the cross.
A Catholic Take. What you need to know right now. A bold synthesis of inspiration and information. Keeping you up to date on the news and issues from a courageous Catholic perspective.
A Catholic Take with Joe McClane starts now.
Praise be to Jesus Christ. Welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McClane. Praise be to God. It is good to be on with you, and today is a very special day. One, I've gotten a lot older, and that's not good, so I don't recommend that. But today's the day that we released 2 books, not one, but 2 books. They are publicly available now. If you go to joemcclane.com and you smash the books menu there, so joemcclane.com/books, they're all linked up there as well. But you can just go to Amazon. You can look for Joe McClane, and you can find my profile there and all my books. I'm going to link to everything in the show notes today for you. But he is risen, or rather, he is coming. I should know the name of my own book. I'm going to be on it. Producer James, write me a note. Try to figure out what the name of my own book is. That'd be great. He is coming, Rise of the Antichrist and Catholic by Design, God's blueprint for his church from Eden to the Garden of Revelation. By the way, the EPUB versions of these books are only 99 cents today. So it would be great if you would consider picking up the EPUB version, but you can also pick these up in paperback as well. And we're going to be giving a couple of copies away as well. We'll be doing that today in this hour. So stick around. It's going to be good because here's my plan. I'm going to be reading for you from these books today. I have no guests today. And rather than talking about, trending topics, I decided that today I'm going to just read from these books. In fact, I'm going to read the first chapter of the novel for you coming up in 14 Past. I'm really excited about the novel. This is a story I've been wrestling with for 3 or 4 years, and this is my first fiction novel effort, so I'm kind of pumped about it, and I'm looking forward to reading that for you today. So you're going to get chapter 1 for free today in this show. And then I've already done it, actually. I've got a video queued up where I'm going to play for you me reading the introduction to Catholic by Design, God's blueprint for his church from Eden to the Garden of Revelation. I'm going to be doing that at 30 past the hour or so. And I wrote that book basically 15 years ago in article form. And then I just adapted all of those articles into this book, which I am really excited about. This is typology. This is apologetics. This is a solid argument, at least I believe so, for the Catholic faith. And both of these books, as I said, are absolutely available right now on the Amazon store, and we're linking to them today for you. And you can find all the links over at thestationofthecross.com/ACT. So that's what we're doing today. Hopefully you'll hang out and be a part of it and let me know what you think. And if you can leave an honest review on Amazon, that is a fantastic way to help me reach new people. You don't have to say it's the best book you've ever read. You can be honest about it. Whatever feedback you give, that's what I want. But the more reviews we get, especially from people who've actually purchased the books, the more Amazon is going to show these books to complete strangers. So the more the merrier, and it really, really helps out. Just 99 cents to pick up the EPUB. It's a quick and easy way to be on the team and help out. So consider that today as well. So let's get after it. I would be grateful if you would keep me in your prayers today. Unfortunately, it's my birthday, so we have to deal with that as well. But let's get after it. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thine intercession was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgins, my mother. To thee do I come, before thee I stand sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And now your saint of the day.
Saints Cyril and Methodius, pray for us. Cyril and Methodius were brothers, born in Thessalonica to a prominent family of the Byzantine Empire in the early 9th century. They studied in Constantinople, where they took holy orders and spent some time in a monastery. After Cyril saw success on a mission to the Khazars, He and his brother were selected to answer a request by King Rostislav for preachers and teachers of the faith in Moravia in Central Europe. Cyril and Methodius worked in Moravia for several years, establishing the Slavonic liturgy and creating a script that would develop into the Cyrillic alphabet. They were opposed by Western missionaries, who convinced Rome to summon the brothers for investigation. Pope Adrian II welcomed the brothers, who brought with them relics of Pope St. Clement as a sign of communion, and not only approved their work, including the Slavonic liturgy, but consecrated the brothers as bishops. Cyril died while still in Rome, in the year of our Lord 869, but Methodius returned to Central Europe and continued the work that earned both brothers the title Apostles to the Slavs, until his own death in the year of our Lord 885. Cyril and Methodius are hailed as patrons of Europe, along with St. Benedict. For more about the saints and seasons of the Catholic Church, visit thestationofthecross.com/saints and seasons. Saints Cyril and Methodius, pray for us.
And now your headline news. Zeal reports U.S. bishops tell Catholics to stop attending SSPX chapels. After the Vatican declared the Society of St. Pius X schismatic over its July 1st illicit episcopal ordinations in Switzerland, a growing number of American diocesan bishops issued statements instructing the faithful to stop attending SSPX masses and to pray for the unity of the Church. They stress that the SSPX confessions and marriages are now considered invalid. We'll be discussing that with Father Gerald Murray tomorrow, because turns out it might not actually be invalid. LifeSite News reports Italian Archbishop proposes women co-preside at Mass. An Italian Archbishop has proposed exploring a form of liturgical co-presidency in which women would lead the liturgy of the Word while priests would preside over the Eucharistic consecration during Mass. The Archbishop adds that such an arrangement would somehow avoid what he describes as the, quote, theological questions regarding the male representation of Christ in the act of the bread and the wine, close quote. In other words, since the Church has reiterated its no to female diaconates and ordination, they're looking for the way around, the loopholes. God help them. Probably no excommunication threats coming from the Vatican for them, but nonetheless. Just the News reports Hamas says it has dissolved its Gaza government. Hamas announced Monday that it has dissolved its government in Gaza to transfer power to the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, a transitional, technocratic, and apolitical body established under a U.S. brokered ceasefire and led from Cairo by a Palestinian official. And those are your headline news. The gospel today comes to us from the Novus Ordo Missae in Matthew chapter 9, verses 32 through 38. And when they had gone out, behold, they brought him a dumb man possessed with the devil. And after the devil was cast out, the dumb man spoke, and the multitudes wondered, saying, Never was the like seen in Israel. But the Pharisees said, By the prince of devils he casteth out devils. And Jesus went about all the cities and towns, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every disease and every infirmity. And seeing the multitudes, he had compassion upon them, because they were distressed and lying like sheep that have no shepherd. Then he saith to his disciples, The harvest indeed is great, but the laborers are few. Pray you therefore that the Lord of the harvest, that he send forth laborers into his harvest. The Gospel of the Lord. Laus tibi Christi. The harvest is great, but the laborers are few. Notice Christ doesn't say, hey, form a committee, come up with some great gimmicks and plans, some themes, maybe create, some little stuffed plush dolls or something. Go and synodal things. Go and make disciples. Go and preach the kingdom of God. It's a very clear, very simple task. Go and make disciples of the whole world. Somehow we've seemingly confused that. A mute man, or rather a deaf one. Father Haydock says the Greek word for dumb here signifies a deaf man, but these defects generally go together because that the deaf cannot learn to speak. Machiavelli adds the devil deprived him of the use of his senses, rendering him perfectly insensible. By the prince of devils, the Pharisees, their absurd slander, Father Haydock quoting St. Chrysostom, what more foolish ever entered into the mind of man? Devils assist and strengthen, not weaken and destroy one another. And besides casting out demons, Christ cleansed lepers, raised the dead, and forgave sins which the devil could never nor would bestow. The calumny that he would formally refute, Father Machiavelli, maddened by envy and unable to gainsay the facts, the Pharisees ascribed the miracle to diabolical agency, a favorite calumny that our Redeemer answers directly in Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. A house cannot stand against itself when it is divided. Why the laborers are few and what to beg for. Cornelius a Lapide quoting St. Augustine. They are few because Christ alone and John the Baptist were laboring, while the idle scribes devoted themselves to their own profits and pleasures. To pray the Master send forth laborers is to ask that he send apostles and their successors to preach efficaciously and labor assiduously in the great harvest of souls. The great harvest of souls. That is the only mission of Holy Mother Church. That is our job, is to make disciples of all nations. Pray that every soul becomes Catholic, because that is God's design for mankind. We'll be back.
iCatholic Mobile is a proud sponsor of the Station of the Cross. What if your phone bill did more than just connect calls? What if it connected souls? With iCatholic Mobile, every text, every call, and every gig of data supports the Station of the Cross, keeping Catholic programming on the air. Nationwide 5G, unlimited talk and text, reliable data, and free roaming in Canada and Mexico, all on a network that puts faith first. More info at iCatholicMobile.com.
Hear what our listeners are saying about the regularly updated iCatholic Radio mobile app.
iCatholic Radio is the most truthful and important site that any of us could ever listen to today. We get the truth. We get good people telling us what is going on in the world. Thank you so much. It's a gift from God.
Download the free iCatholic Radio mobile app today on your Android or Apple mobile device.
Please join us in a prayer to our guardian angel. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. O holy guardian angel, take care of our soul and body. Enlighten our mind that we may know the Lord better and love him with all our heart. Help us in our prayers so that we may not give in to distractions. Assist us with your advice so that we may see the good and carry it out with generosity. Defend us from the insidious snares of the enemy and sustain us in temptations that we may always be victorious. Remedy our coldness in our worship of the Lord. Cease not to protect us until you have brought us into paradise, where we will praise our good God together for all eternity. Amen.
Praise be to Jesus Christ. Welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McClane. Praise be to God. It is good to be on with you today. I'm celebrating my birthday with the release of 2 books at the same time. Not the smartest marketing move. I'm going to be honest with you. I probably should have staggered these, but it is what it is. I'm not going to be a bestseller, so it's totally fine. I just wanted to get them out there. But you can find the books, joemcclane.com, joemcclane.com/books. You can also find them on Amazon. That's where they are available in EPUB, plus also paperback versions. I will work on getting audio versions of them as well. The EPUBs are only 99 cents each today, so super cheap. I think you're going to enjoy them. One is this fiction novel right here, He Is Coming, The Rise of the Antichrist. This is meant to be the first in a trilogy of books. So there's 2 more episodes, so to speak, that go with this story. I haven't written those yet. My plan is if I can sell 1,000 copies, which is very low in the book world, then I'll write the second book. If I don't sell 1,000 copies, I will take that as, hey, nobody's interested. We'll just got to move on. But the Catholic by Design book is my typology apologetics book. I wrote this, like 85% of this book, like 15 years ago. And it's just now been adapted into book form. I think you're going to find it really, really interesting, especially if you're into biblical typology. It's going to be your jam. Both of these books, again, are available at joemcclain.com/books. We'll put a link to it in the show notes as well. But what I want to do for you right now is I want to read for you Chapter 1 of my fiction novel, He Is Coming, Rise of the Antichrist. Now, the very first thing I say in this book is this is a work of fiction. It is not a prophecy. If anything, this is a commentary on the church of my day, because who knows, my great-grandkids may be reading this, 70, 80 years from now, and I want them to know that I wasn't trying to predict the future. I'm not trying to give you a blah, blah, blah. This is a fiction story, but it's truly underneath it is a commentary on the church in our time. So I set this story in our day. I didn't try to predict the date in the future. You can't know the day or the hour, right? So I just want you to keep that in mind, because some of my trad friends are going to be, there's going to be some things, there's curveballs, there's plot twists that you might not love. But just remember, it's a fiction. It's not prophecy. Here's chapter 1. Hoc est enum corpus meum. The house had stood at the edge of Conscience Bay since 1783. White clapboard gone gray under salt air and 240 Long Island winters, black shutters, 12-pane windows, a low wraparound porch, a central chimney of fieldstone. 4 oaks in the yard stood stripped and black with early December. The grass had gone silver with frost. It had been built to outlast the people inside it, and it had. During the Revolution, the Culper Ring had carried Washington's secrets along this shore, and the men who ran them had known which doors opened out to the water and which walls were thicker than they actually were. The house had hidden people before. It had been built knowing that it would have to. 2.5 centuries had not changed what it was for. Only the names of the hunted had changed. It sat less than 100 yards from the western shore. On a still night, the water was audible from the front porch, and tonight was still. A narrow path ran north from the kitchen door through the frost-bitten marsh grass to a weathered dock where a flat-bottomed skiff rode against its post, left 2 nights ago by a man whose name Edmund did not know for exactly this kind of morning. 4 vehicles sat on the dirt road 200 yards to the south. Black SUVs, unmarked, engines silent. They had coasted in without headlights. The house was already mapped in him. Topcliffe watched his men with the flat attention of the minute before the action, reaching and reading everyone's readiness, just with a look. 8 of them, plate carriers over dark jackets, M4 carbines, EOTech sights, Surefire lights riding below the barrels, PVS 14 binoculars flipped up on their helmet mounts, not deployed, the pre-dawn gray enough to work by, but ready. Infrared lasers traced lines through the dark that only the optics would see. Gloved fingers ran along receivers the way musicians test instruments before the curtain. They moved without speaking. There was no need. They had done this many times. The last Viridian maintenance unit had finished its circuit of the block at 0218. The task list logged that the next pass would be at 0310 and had arranged the gap between 48 minutes. Topcliffe carried no rifle, the plate carrier, the pistol on his right hip and on his left, in a fixed sheath worn smooth by decades, the knife. He drew a field terminal from his vest, military grade, the screen hardened against impact, and read it once. Subject, McClane. Clerical status, bishop. Underground. Unauthorized religious assembly, confirmed. Enforcement authorization, level 5, priority target, proceed. The charge on the screen, unauthorized religious assembly, had been law for 2 years, since the winter when the power stations were burned and the broadcasters laid the dead at the underground's feet. The votes Caruso could never get, arriving overnight. He had driven the task list protocol through a hostile committee himself, and a priest who had lit no fuse anywhere was a level 5 target because of it. He killed the screen. From a different pocket, he took out a pocket watch and held it closed in his fist. Felt the mechanism running against his palm, indifferent, counting down. 3 full seconds. And then he put it away. Move, he said, quiet and final. The root cellar stairs descended from the northeast corner of the kitchen. 12 steps of old pine. The 4th one was warped, the 10th missing its left edge where the wood had finally given out. Edmund had learned them in the dark and had gone down them 100 times without a sound, in hours when a single sound would have cost lives. At the bottom, the foundation pressed close on 3 sides, fieldstone laid dry in 1783, mortared a century later, December drawing moisture down the rock in thin threads. The room smelled of stone and damp earth and old wood, and beneath all of it, the layered ghost of incense soaked into the walls by every mass that had ever been said here until it had become part of the stone. The far wall was fitted paneling, floor to ceiling, framed into the rock, built to look exactly what it pretended to be. Old storage, forgotten. Edmund pressed 3 fingers to the left edge of the 3rd panel from the bottom. The concealed latch released with a click he felt more than he heard, and the panel swung inward. The chapel beyond was 10 feet wide and 12 feet deep, the ceiling so low that he could stand in straight with just inches to spare. Floor and walls were stone. Against the east wall, centered with a sacristan's precision, stood the altar. It had been carried down in sections and assembled here by hand. 4 squared posts, joined and pegged and mortared, a surface of dense hardwood, planed flat and sealed with oil until the grain took the finish like stone. Plain, without ornament, and entirely purpose-built. Whoever had made it had understood what an altar was. The cloth lay over it, iron stiff enough to hold its creases. The corporal sat centered, its folded borders square to the edge. On it, the chalice, silver, old, tarnish at the base, the paten beside it. The missal stood open on its stand to the right. 2 glass curates of water and wine waited on the credence table. Kitchen glass, the kind no one ever looked at twice. On either side of the small crucifix, 2 pairs of candles, 4 in all, as proper for a bishop's low mass. In the right corner, set low into the foundation, was a door of rough pine, barely 4 feet tall, fitted so flush you would miss it if you did not know. It opened onto a crawl passage that ran north under the yard, toward the tree line and the dock. Edmund had used it once. He had not forgotten it. He lit the candles with a long taper, right pair first, then left. The chapel woke in stages. As each wick caught, the smell of warming beeswax reached him. The smell of every chapel he had ever served in. The smell that said, "Here." It was the same small light that had burned in the Roman catacombs, the same that had burned in priest holes of Elizabethan England, while the Queen's man walked the road above. Matins had already been said, kneeling before the candles went up, the feast day lessons carried in memory, when the page was too dark to read. Less than an hour to dawn, he turned to vest the bishop. The vestments were laid in order on the narrow corner table. Edmund worked through them from the inside out, the way the underground seminary had taught him. McClane was 67, Scotch-Irish. You could read it in his heavy jaw, still square despite his years, and in the pale blue eyes that had looked at enough hard things to stop reacting to them. His nose had been broken and set crooked 3 years past, men working for Topcliffe. Then they worked without sanction. They found him in the alley behind St. Agnes's rectory and introduced themselves with professional efficiency. He had gone down once and gotten up. He said his mass the next morning with dried blood in the crease of his collar. The nose healed as it healed. He never gave it another thought. His hands were broad and freckled, more a farmer's than a prelate's. Amice first, white linen. Edmund holding the strings back as the bishop drew it over his head and settled it, then crossing the strings and tying them at the front. The alb next, long and white, the hem pooling on the stone until Edmund cinctured it and drew up the fabric until it broke at the instep. The maniple on the left forearm, red silk worked with gold by someone who had taken real care. The stole around the neck, the ends hanging straight, in the bishop's form unbound. And then the chasuble. Edmund lifted it with both hands and settled it over the broad shoulders. Red, the color of martyrs, for the feast of Edmund Campion, Society of Jesus, dead 448 years on this day. Priest, whole priest, prisoner of the tower, executed at Tyburn for the exact work being done in this room, in this candlelight. McRae had asked for the proper from memory before the candles were lit and had not explained the choice. A gold orphery cross ran the length of the back, the thread catching the candlelight and throwing it warm into the stone dark. The pectoral cross hung against the front on its dark cord, the silver of it gone near to black with use. A true crucifix, the corpus on it, not like the bare crosses of so many chanceries. The bishop stood through it with stillness of 40 years of vesting. When the chasuble settled, he bowed his head, not the liturgical bow that would come, but the private one that came before everything else. Eyes closed, lips moving. Edmund stepped back and waited. He had served enough masses at this man's side to know what that stillness was, and he did not interrupt it. We'll pause there. We'll come back on the other side of this 2-minute break, and I'll continue reading chapter 1 of He Is Coming, the Rise of the Antichrist. They are available today. Praise be to God. So grateful. You can find them at joemcclain.com/books. You can get the EPUB versions for only 99 cents a piece. Their paperbacks are also available. And if you buy them today and leave a review, an honest review, it's really going to help me to reach a whole new audience. So we'll be back and we'll continue chapter 1 in just 2 minutes from now. Share this with a friend.
But as soon as we begin to speak about love, we have to make some clarifications because love has been redefined by our fallen world. Our fallen world tells us that love means that you're supposed to make me happy. Love means that I have to be subjectively satisfied. Love means that I always get my way. But none of that is love. Those are all lies. In fact, that's not love, that's just self-centeredness. That's narcissism. Love is actually the exact opposite. Love is, I will die to myself in order that the good in you might flourish. I myself will suffer and take up the cross that you might flourish. Of course, as Christians, the greatest symbol for us of love is the cross of our Lord. That the Lord Jesus was willing to die that we might live. He was willing to die so the good in us might flourish even into eternal life. And so we have to have a proper understanding of love.
That's Sermons for Everyday Living, weekdays from 6 to 7 a.m. Eastern on the Station of the Cross.
This is a segment about small Catholic innovations that made a huge impact from the OSV Institute for Catholic Innovation. The bread Catholics are known for is the Eucharist.
The body of Christ.
Rightly so. But I'd wager there's another, less special bread that we should also be recognized for. The pretzel. Back in the year 600 AD, Lenten fasting rules were pretty strict. So some monks got creative. They developed a bread recipe that was just flour, water, and salt.
That's easy.
Legend has it that the monks wanted to make the bread into a shape that reminded them of Lent. A young monk noticed the way his brothers crossed their arms over their chests while praying, and voila, the pretzel was born. The Latin word for pretzel even means little arms.
Aw, how cute.
So, you can thank Catholic innovation for pretzels. Learn more about what OSV Institute is doing to inspire and encourage Catholic innovation at osvinstitute.com.
Praise be to Jesus Christ. Welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McClane. Praise be to God. It is good to be on with you. We're doing something different and special today. It's my birthday. So I thought it would be kind of fun if instead of getting something, I could sort of give something. And today we are giving out 2 books. I'm publishing these books today. They are available on Amazon. They're self-published. They're not through Sophia or Tanner, some of these other great Catholic publishers. They are self-published. You can find them linked up at joemcclane.com/books. You can actually get the first chapters of these books. You can get them on Amazon right now. The EPUB versions are available, and the paperback versions are available as well. But I would be super grateful if you would consider, especially if you were to purchase one and leave a review, an honest review. That would mean a lot. I'm not going to tell you what to write. You write whatever you want. You can tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. That's totally great. But every review we get helps us to reach a whole new audience. So that would be awesome. By the way, my old book from 2014, Muscle Memory, you can actually get the EPUB version of that book as well. All of it's linked up. We're going to put the link in the show notes as well today at thestationofthecross.com/ACT. I'll tell you how I'm going to give out a couple of books. I'm going to give out a couple of books today, paperbacks. I'll tell you about that later in the show. But I want to get back to reading for you chapter 1 of the fiction novel, which I'm super pumped about, actually. He is Coming, Rise of the Antichrist. This is book 1 of a trilogy. Here's the deal. If I can sell 1,000 copies, I'll write the second book. That's my deal. Just 1,000. Bestsellers usually sell tens of thousands, so I'm not looking for bestseller status. I figured a low bar. Let's go for it. 1,000 copies. I'll write book 2. That's the deal. But back to chapter 1 of He is Coming, Rise of the Antichrist. 200 yards south, the vehicles stood empty. 8 men crossed the frozen yard in 2 wide columns. Weapons up, lights dark, the gray enough to move by. No signals, no sound. They had drilled the approach until the drilling had become something itself. Topcliffe walked at the rear of the left column. 12 pane windows were black, the porch bare, the oaks throwing their branches against the sky that had not yet begun to lighten. No light anywhere, which meant they had the right house. At the south corner, the point man raised his fist and the column froze, rifles covering every opening. Topcliffe moved up. The terminal angled toward the house, gave its readout. Confirmed, active assembly, level 5, priority target. And he took the watch from his pocket, held it 1 beat, 2, felt the tick of it through the case. A timer, a reckoning. He put it away. He nodded at the door. The Mass had moved through the liturgy of the Word without stumble. The collect, the epistle, the gradual, the gospel read from the missal and the candlelight, the bishop's voice barely above a whisper, Latin laid down in the 4th century and never improved upon. Edmund held the book, moved when he was meant to move, knelt when he was meant to kneel, answered when the answer was called for. The stone under his knees was familiar ground. As the canon came on, he felt the narrowing it always brought, the clearing, the certainty that nothing outside these walls could enter unless he let it. He had learned to know that it was a grace. He knelt into it. The offertory, the secret, the preface, the sanctus, sung very low. Then the canon began, and the bishop's voice fell to near silence. If you could hear the canon clearly, Edmund had always thought you were standing too close. He knelt with the bell in his right hand, the thumb against the clapper to muzzle it, and watched the hands work over the corporal. McRae took the host between the tips of his thumbs and forefingers, the only fingers permitted to touch it from this moment on, and bent slowly at the waist, bringing his face down close, his eyes to the host, his lips beginning to move. The words came low, directed downward, spoken to God. Edmund knew by the cadence exactly where they were. He no longer needed the mind for it. The prayers lived in the body. He anchored himself to that cadence. Hoc est einum corpus meum. That was when they heard the door. The thing that came with the sound was wrong. Not the December cold of the room that was lived in, bone deep, his own. This was dry and without source, a chill that pressed inward from no direction at all, and Edmund felt it close around his chest before his mind could name it. Above them, at the front of the house, the sound carried down through 2 floors of old timber and fieldstone like current through wire, then boots on the floor overhead. The bishop's eyes went from the consecrated host to the rafters and back down. A voice clipped barely through the ceiling. Clear! Edmund did not move. The Mass continued. You do not stop the Mass once the words of consecration have begun. Not for boots, not for the men wearing them, not for anything this side of the death those men were licensed to give. Edmund's heart slammed to the inside of his chest. Sweat stood cold on his forehead. The bell handle had gone slick in his fist, and a voice in him that was not prayer said, run, said you could not help him, said stay, said all of it at once. And under it the other thing, older, quieter, serve the Mass. He pressed his thumb harder to the clapper and breathed in short, shallow pulls that he could not slow. The boots moved through the floor above at measured intervals. One room, then the next. Clear! A pause, movement. Clear! The bishop straightened. He genuflected, unhurried, exact, rose, and raised the host. Edmund rang the bell 3 times against his thumb, the sound very small in the stone. The bishop genuflected again, set the host on the corporal, and laid the pall across the chalice. His gaze never left the altar. His hands did not hurry. Overhead, the boots found the head of the cellar stairs. Then quiet. The boots came down the 12 pine steps and spread across the basement floor, far end to near, the way men move through space they intend to own. Clear! A pause. Then a different voice, lower, steadier, the voice of a man used to having the last word. They're here. Find the chapel. Nothing in it cost him anything. There's a false wall. Find it. Knuckles on the paneling, a first working along the wood, section by section, listening for the hollow behind. Edmund's pulse was a hammer in his ears. He fixed his eyes on the bishop's hands. McClane had moved to the chalice. His fingers were already on the stem. His voice came barely above breath, and Edmund tracked it by cadence alone. Accipiens et hunc praeclarum calicem. On the far side of the wall, a fist struck the right panel, and then struck it again. Here! Footsteps stepping back. A pause of another kind. Not searching now. Preparing. Edmund's breath would not come right. He was aware of it and could do nothing about it, and he gave it up and held to the cadence and the hands. The bishop bent over the chalice as he had bent over the host, the same slow incline, face close, eyes on the wine. Breacher up! Muffled through the wall, metal against wood, something being fixed to the door that stood between the mass of the ages and the men sent to end it. His lips an inch from the rim, the bishop spoke low, downward to God. Hic est einum calix sanguinis, mei novi et aeterni testamenti mysterium fide, qui pro vobis et pro multis effunditur in remissionem peccatorum. He straightened. He set the chalice on the corporal and rested his hands there. He genuflected, rose, took the chalice in both hands, and elevated it. Edmund rang the bell 3 times, no reason to muffle it now. The bishop did not wait. He set the chalice down, took the host with the traditional grip, and consumed it. Then he lifted the chalice and drank it until the precious blood was gone. The sacrifice was complete. It was finished, and it was in him. And no door, no charge against it could undo what had been done in this room. He was already moving, past Edmund to the back corner. The corner Edmund had seen him approach only twice in 3 years, always with care, always deliberate. He crouched and with both hands and visible effort lifted a wooden box from a compartment hidden in the wall. Edmund had not understood that corner until this moment. The box was the size of a traveling chest made for the road, 2.5 feet long, 2 feet deep, 8 foot tall, heavy enough that the weight showed in the bishop's shoulders. The wood was cedar, dark with oil, decades of handling, the grain nearly lost in the patina, carved deep into the lid, and with patience of a craftsman who knew what lay inside and took no shortcuts, carved the keys of St. Peter, crossed, their teeth turned outward, the triple crown, the tiara above them. The bishop held it out with both hands. Edmund stepped in and took it. The weight came into his arms, real weight, the weight of the whole church. This is the treasure of the church. The voice was level, entirely serious. The eyes held his. I am entrusting it to your care. You must not let it fall into their hands under any circumstances. My son, there is a letter inside. Do not open it until this day next year. Not before. Whatever happens, not before that day. From beyond the wall, a shout, flat and procedural, carrying through the old pine, the stone, the clarity of a thing that meant only one thing. Fire in the hole! The bishop turned and pushed Edmund hard. No ceremony in it. The back door, to the water, now. His face was at peace. Not resignation, not defeat, peace. Godspeed, my son. Edmund did not go. 1 second, maybe 2. He stood with the box in his arms and looked at the bishop's back. And everything in him said, set it down, stay. A priest does not leave his bishop. But the cedar was hard against his forearms, and he understood the cost of carrying this for a year. The box was already the bishop's answer to the argument. The mission was not martyrdom, not today, not his. Without turning, McClane said once more quietly, run. Edmund crossed the floor in 4 strides, crouched the low pine door, worked the latch, went through and pulled it shut behind him. The passage was close and black and smelled of earth, the walls inches off both shoulders. He went on his hands and knees with the box against his chest, the carved keys pressing through his coat into his arms. Then it came. Not sound, not here in the rock, but force. One massive compression through the foundation that shook the tunnel, drove a thin rain of grit from the stone above, and pressed the air flat against his eardrums for half a second before his hearing returned, ringing. He did not stop. Behind him in the chapel, the false wall did not crack or splinter. It was simply gone. The blast carrying everything inward at once, pine and plaster sheeting across the stone, the concussion rolling through 10 feet of room with nowhere to spend itself. It swept the altar bare in an instant, the missal flung from its stand, the cruets shattering, the chalice and baton thrown down, the corporal torn loose and carried off the cloth. It threw the bishop backward off his feet, and he came down on the stone with the full weight of his 67 years. The red chasuble flaring once and settling around him. And the 4 candles stayed lit. They should not have. The blast had emptied the altar and flattened the air in the room that left them burning, bent sideways, guttering, streaming smoke, and then standing again, 4 small flames upright in the dust and the white, acrid haze, defiant as the team came pouring through the breach with their lasers cutting the smoke. I'll pause it there. Hopefully I think we'll definitely finish this first chapter in this next segment. We're going to pause that there. I hope you're enjoying this. Let me know if you're enjoying it in the live chats. We'll take your questions, your comments in the after show, but we'll have one more segment where we'll finish up chapter 1. I don't know if I'm going to get to the introduction of of the other book that we have for you today, Praise Be to God, Catholic by Design. But both books are available in the Amazon bookstore, self-published today, but you can find them linked up at joemcclain.com/books. The rest of the chapter in just 2 minutes.
The Station of the Cross Catholic Media Network presents Saints and Seasons. On July 7th, we celebrate the feast of Saints Cyril and Methodius, bishops and confessors. Cyril and Methodius were brothers, born in Thessalonica to a prominent family of the Byzantine Empire in the early 9th century. They studied in Constantinople, where they took holy orders and spent some time in a monastery. After Cyril saw success on a mission to the Khazars, he and his brother were selected to answer a request by King Rostislav for preachers and teachers of the faith in Moravia, in Central Europe. Cyril and Methodius worked in Moravia for several years, establishing the Slavonic liturgy and creating a script that would develop into the Cyrillic alphabet. They were opposed by Western missionaries, who convinced Rome to summon the brothers for investigation. Pope Adrian II welcomed the brothers, who brought with them relics of Pope St. Clement as a sign of communion, and not only approved their work, including the Slavonic liturgy, but consecrated the brothers as bishops. Cyril died while still in Rome in the year of our Lord 869, but Methodius returned to Central Europe and continued the work that earned both brothers the title Apostles to the Slavs until his own death in the year of our Lord 885. Cyril and Methodius, hailed as patrons of Europe along with St. Benedict, are also honored on February 14th in the modern calendar, May 11th or 24th in the East, and July 5th in some parts of Europe. Also honored on this day are St. Willibald, St. Edelberga, and many other martyrs, confessors, and holy virgins. For more about the saints and seasons of the Catholic Church, visit thestationofthecross.com/saints and seasons.
The Adoration Sodality of the Poor Clares of Perpetual Adoration at the Shrine of the Most Blessed Sacrament in Hanceville, Alabama, is a prayer group for laity, priests, and religious brothers and sisters to spiritually join in the nuns' mission of adoring our Lord Jesus Christ in the Holy Eucharist. Members commit themselves to an hour of Eucharistic adoration on a monthly, weekly, or daily basis at a monstrance or tabernacle at the parish of their choice. Learn more about becoming a member at iadorethee.com.
Praise be to Jesus Christ. Welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McClane. Praise be to God. It is good to be on with you. Today we're celebrating the release of 2 books all at the same time. Probably not the smartest move, but that's okay. Praise be to God. Catholic by Design, God's blueprint for his church from Eden to the Garden of Revelation. This is an apologetics book, a typology book, where we go through salvation history and we look at God's design for his church, the sacraments, the priesthood, the role of the Blessed Virgin Mary as intercessor on behalf of the people to her son, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. All of that by God's design. God has an opinion of his church. And we go through that and we look at it from a scriptural standpoint and the early church fathers. I think you're going to enjoy that book quite a bit and get a lot out of it. So it is an apologetics book. It looks specifically at Protestant arguments against the Catholic Church. So I would encourage you to check it out if you need an apologetics resource. Catholic by Design. The other one that I've been reading for you is this book, He is Coming, Rise of the Antichrist. I got to tell you, I'm really excited about this book because this is my first effort at a fictional novel, and it's a trilogy. It's the first book is The Rise of the Antichrist. The second book will be Reign of the Antichrist, and the third book will be The Death of the Antichrist. And I say on page 1 that this book is a fiction. It is not a prophecy. And I guess you could say it's sort of like Windswept House. You're using real things, real events, real prophecies, and real things, but at the same time, you're fictionalizing them to tell a story, to entertain, but also to make a point. What's my point? This is more of a commentary on the church of our time, of my time. If in the future, 1,000 years from now, this somehow gets read, I want them to understand that. So I led with that point. And I've been reading the first chapter to you just as a way to introduce the book to you, and hopefully you're getting a lot out of it. But I want to finish this chapter for you in this segment, and if I have time, I might play a little bit of the reading of the intro of the other book. So page 12 of the first chapter of He is Coming, Rise of the Antichrist. The secret door to the chapel in the basement has just been blown open. That's where we left off. Topcliffe came through at last. The air changed where he passed. The breech smoke was still warm from the blast, but a different cold moved with him through it, dry, sourceless, belonging to no weather and no morning, and the man nearest him shifted half a step without knowing why he had done it. He was taller than any of the 8 and older, his face made by what it had been done, deep-set eyes, hands loose at his sides, holding himself in reserve. He had stopped counting rooms like this one. The count had climbed too high. He scanned right to left, altar swept clean, the patent on the floor empty. He understood the empty patent at once. The priest had consumed the host. The Mass had been finished here, in this room, with his men walking the boards directly overhead. He had given them 48 minutes. The priest had spent them well. His eyes did not go to the corner, or to the lower door, or to the boy already gone through it. He had come for the bishop. The inheritance never entered the scan. McRae was pushing himself up off the stone, one broad hand on the base of the altar, the chasuble gray with dust, the crooked nose bleeding again. He found his feet. He was not afraid. Topcliffe looked at him for a long moment before he looked at anything else. And something opened in his face that was older than surprise and had been waiting for far longer than this morning. McRae. A breath of a smile. My old friend. The air drew tighter around the words. Still defending the innocent? The bishop straightened to his full height and met him without flinching, and what he gave back held no fear and no hatred, only steadiness. Edmund came through the hinged panel at the root of the oak and stood up in the December dark. He stripped as he moved. The alb came over his head, white and treacherous in any light, and dropped it back into the mouth of the tunnel. The cassock followed, shed and left in the front stiff grass until he stood in the plain dark clothes beneath. Nothing to catch an eye, nothing to catch the coming light. North through the scrub and the marsh grass to the dock, 40 yards. He ran it hard, the weight of the box throwing him forward, the frozen ground ringing under his feet. He hit the dock planks, and they answered under him. The skiff was there, at its post where it had been left. The slip stencil beside it, 77. Half gone to salt, a number he had passed 100 times and passed again now without seeing it. He went over the side in one motion, freed the line, grabbed the paddle in his hand, and shoved off. The bay took him, black water, still as stone, the far shore lost in the dark. He paddled south low, keeping the tree line between himself and the house. His breath clouded and tore away. The water's cold came up through the hull, and his body had begun to shake. Adrenaline, exposure, both. A shaking he could not command and did not try to. He was 50 yards out when it reached him, carried over the black water and the windless air, and the whole ordinary turning weight of the world, muffled by distance but unmistakable in the voice he had served beside for 3 years. Viva Cristo Rey! Edmund did not slow the paddle. He paddled until the far shore began to resolve out of the dark, a gray line of trees against the lightening sky, and then stopped and let the skiff drift. Taped to the inside of the hull was a folded envelope. He had not seen it until now. He worked it loose, opened it. 4 lines in a hand that he did not recognize. An address on Old Post Road, a time, 0500. Below that, one word, alone. At the bottom, destroy this. He read it twice. He looked around the skiff and found nothing, no fire, nothing to use, so he folded the note small, put it in his mouth, and chewed it until it was all gone. It tasted of paper and cold. His arms ached. The box lay heavy between his knees, the cedar and the carved keys solid under his palms, and the bay lay quiet around him. And somewhere behind him, through the trees and the stone and the cold earth, the 4 candles were still burning. He had not let himself think of McRae until now. There had been no room. The box, the passage, the dock, the water, the moving had been the same as not thinking. Now the skiff drifted, and the grief came in all at once and heavy, the kind that waits until the body has run out of things to do with itself. He sat with it. He picked up the paddle. He crossed to the other side. And that's chapter 1. That's chapter 1 of the book. Praise be to God. He is coming. The rise of the Antichrist. Now, I have just about a minute or so left. I'm going to actually play for you a bit of the introduction of Catholic by Design. The eternal blueprint. Imagine you are standing at the foot of Mount Sinai. The desert stretches behind you, cracked and silent. Ahead, the mountain smokes and trembles. Around you stands a nation, thousands upon thousands of men, women, and children, a nation of former slaves who have not heard the voice of God in 400 years. They do not know their own history. They do not know why the world was created, who they truly are, or where they are going. 4 centuries in Egypt have done their work. These people have been shaped more by Pharaoh than by Eden. And then Moses opens his mouth. Here is something that most people miss when they open the first pages of sacred scripture, the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, are not, at their core, a science textbook, a myth cycle, or a bare chronological record. They are a catechetical class. They are Moses, the great lawgiver and covenant mediator, standing before a people who have lost their way and reminding them of everything that matters. We're going to have to leave it there, but check out the books. I'd be grateful if you would consider picking up a copy today. You can go to joemcclane.com/books or find me on Amazon. Just 99-cent EPUB versions, super cheap. Paperbacks are available too. I'll tell you how to get your copy in the after show on the live video feed. Until tomorrow, God love you. So what did you think of today's show? Let's discuss that right now in the after show. Your take on the after take. Comment, interact live with me and the team. All you need to do is search for one of our live video feeds on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, LinkedIn, and elsewhere. Simply search for the Station of the Cross, Joe McClane, or A Catholic Take. I'm looking forward to seeing you and interacting with you directly. It all starts right now. It's the after show.
Welcome to the after show.
Welcome back. How's it going? One more time. You had days off. Days off to practice.
Mm-hmm, indeed.
To rehearse. Like what, how much time do you need to learn the song? Exactly. What do we got to do?
I don't know, man. It's a steep price.
I guess. Producer James, what did you do on your time off? Bungee jump to Niagara Falls, or what does one do in Buffalo when they have time off besides blue cheese, of course?
It was more to spend time with family. I had some family in town for the 4th from out of state, so we went wine tasting the one day. We went bowling.
Really?
And hung out, watched the World Cup, a couple World Cup games, so that was cool. Nothing crazy.
That's
though.
Cool. Praise be to God. Praise be to God. But which game did you watch? I've been watching World Cup too, actually.
I don't watch soccer typically at all, so it was a big deal for me to even watch the U.S. games, actually. So
they lost bad last
2 of
night.
those we watched, and then a couple others were kind of playing in the background.
They lost very badly last night. Good grief.
Indeed.
They looked terrible. I felt so bad for the goalie last night. I mean, honestly, that poor fella is beating himself up so hard, but it was his fault. So there you go. Hey, Chesty Semper Fi, brother. God bless you. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate the birthday wishes. Andrea, God bless you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Cano Tex, praise be to Jesus. Welcome back. Mimiry, is that the correct Mimiry? That's all. That's a very interesting name. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate the birthday wishes. Thank you for being on. It is your birthday also? What? No way. And what? It is. Andrea says it's birthday and 19th wedding anniversary. That's pretty awesome. Praise be to God. iCatholic Mobile, friend of the show. We love you. Praise be to God. A good friends, iCatholicMobile.com. Check them out. My family is gotten a lot of benefit. We love the fact that our mobile phone company is Catholic and tried Catholic at that. We love them. Great sponsors of us here at the Station of the Cross Catholic Media Network. Couldn't be more grateful to iCatholicMobile.com. iCatholicMobile.com. Check them out. If your phone is not Trad Catholic, why not make it today? You can contact them, transfer your plan. You can transfer your phone number. They've got people you can talk to ask tough questions. You can even get a phone plan too. You can do all of that at iCatholicMobile.com. I do encourage you to check them out. Can I also just thank our other sponsors, CatholicMatch.com. Truly appreciate CatholicMatch.com. It's a platform made by Catholics for Catholics to help sort through the noise and the fat of discerning marriage. Because you want to find a spouse who is sold out for the one holy Catholic and apostolic faith. You want to be able to ask the tough questions. And you want to be able to find someone who's going to be able to answer those tough questions, because you don't want to be unequally yoked. Marriage is not a good feeling. It's not an emotion. It's not a good time. It is a commitment of a man and a woman in sacrifice and sacrament, God's actual grace communicated, and the spouses have one job, and that's to get each other to heaven and their kids, right? So CatholicMatch.com is a platform you can download right now for free in your iOS or Android app store. You can create a free platform, a free profile rather, and you can start asking the tough questions right now. Hey, where do you go to Mass? And I would say, hey, what don't you believe in the Catholic Church? Like, what about Catholic teaching do you not believe in? I would ask that question, because the cafeteria ought to be closed. We are on the team 100%, not 90, not 85, not 65. 100% or no deal. And you can do that with a tool like CatholicMatch.com. So grateful. Tell them we sent you. We'd appreciate you. So thank you to our sponsors. Hey, Judy, thank you for the birthday blessing. I do appreciate you. Roxy, God bless you. Thank you. Enjoyed reading the chapter 1. He is coming. Great title too. Thank you. I appreciate that. Junior Holy Roman Emperor, praise be to Jesus. God love you. Jar Jar. Oh man, Jar Jar. I've always wanted to interview the guy who played Jar Jar Binks, the actor. You guys ever see the fact that he like almost committed suicide over that? Like crazy. Rebecca, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Mike K. James 16897. God bless you. Andrea, God bless you. Thank you. I do appreciate you. Your birthday wishes mean a lot to me. Thank you, Anna. God bless you. Appreciate you. Jane says, Joe, did anyone give you honey mustard for your birthday? No, actually not. No one. Not even producer James. You know,
Certainly
you would think your producer who knows that that's like God's preferred condiment.
I was the one who sent out the memo telling everyone not to buy you honey mustard for your birthday, actually.
Oh, that was you. I was wondering, like, who was the saboteur?
No, that was me. 100%.
100%. Well, there you go, folks. There
No
you
shame.
go. I was thinking of you the other day, actually. My wife and I went to Fogo de Chao for my birthday lunch celebration. We did it just on Saturday. And I had a little clump of blue cheese on the side, like just like right there, just as an honor. As like a tribute to you, producer James.
See, you lost me
and
with the
all
chunk,
Buffalonians and all Buffalonians, just to pay my tribute to you.
I'm so flattered, Joe.
Left it off to the side right over there, and then I sprayed honey mustard right in front of it, just like.
There it is.
There you go. White Wolf is back. Welcome back, Catholic Warrior. I wish it was 51st. Unfortunately, it's not. I don't recommend getting old. I actually hate it, if I'm being honest. It's a bitter pill that I'm having a hard time swallowing. I don't deal well with birthdays. Birthdays are actually very hard for me, if I'm being perfectly frank. I was trying to cheer myself up by publishing the books this year on my birthday. This way I would have something positive to think about rather than my birthday, because birthdays are painful. And the reason why is because on my birthday, I can only think of my failures. And I'm just being straight and honest with you. I can only think of what I have failed to accomplish and failed to do. Failed to do for my family, failed to do for my goals or whatever. Just one more year gone, and didn't get done what I had planned or hoped to do. And that is, I know it's egotistical. I know it's narcissistic. I know. I still struggle with it. and I think, golly gee whiz, am I ever going to get to climb, in elk hunt in the Colorado mountains? I don't know. By the time I actually get that opportunity, I won't have kneecaps. I'll have like false knees. I don't know that I'll ever get to do it. It's, Mimiri. How do I say that correctly? Mimiry. Mimiri. Thank you. You are very kind. I appreciate you.
What if it's Mimi?
God bless you.
What if it's Mimi and then a last name?
Okay, say it then. Is it Mimi?
Mimi Ridblom?
You think that? Okay, we need a clarification here. We need an audible on the field. Today would have been whose 43rd birthday, Jar Jar? I missed that. Who are we talking about? Whose birthday would it have been? CNU 10. What kind of cake are you having, Joe? I didn't have any cake. I ate Greek yogurt for lunch. Does that count? I put some cocoa in it, though. I use 100% pure cocoa. Threw that in there. Some monk fruit liquid to, some blueberries and some nuts. Called her done. I am so sorry. Your son passed? I missed that, and I do appreciate. Today would have been our youngest son's 24th birthday. Please pray for his soul. We lost him 19 years ago. My deepest condolences to you. Be assured of my prayer. I will include your son in our rosary tonight with my family. I am sorry for your loss. Easy. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Praise be to Jesus. I appreciate you. God love you. Thank you. Clayton Lee, thank you for being a member of the channel. When you mentioned you want to sell 1,000 copies of your book, do you include ebooks? I do. Beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, if 1,000 copies of the ebook get sold, then yeah, praise be to God. I'd take that. I would write the next installment of He Is Coming for that. I'm good. You guys are gonna I think I saw White Wolf earlier say it's predictable, and fair enough. Listen, this is my first try at this, so don't expect perfection. But nonetheless, there are curveballs, I promise you, in this book. In fact, it's chapter 3 and chapter 13 are probably my faves. Yeah, chapter 3 and chapter 13 are like my two faves. I'm going to be honest with you. So there's good stuff. But I also might get in trouble for some things that are in the book. Michael Allen Johnson Jr., God bless you. Says, happy birthday, Joe, and thank you for all the work that you do. You are a blessing. God love you. I'm very kind of you to say thank you. I do appreciate you. Jar Jar says their son Daniel passed when he was 24 years old. That was 19 years ago. May God rest his soul. Raven Ray is back. Good afternoon. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being on the team. CNU 10 says it's pronounced. Well, you didn't help. All you did is cut and paste. I'm not how do I Mimiri de Bloom?
She says it's Mimi.
Mimi. Mimi's the name.
Yep.
Mimi, you are awesome.
Confirmed.
Thank you, Mimi. You are awesome. Thank you, Mimi. Do appreciate you. Left comments on Facebook. I haven't, Patty. God love you. Thanks for doing it. I don't even have Facebook up. I kind of gave up on Facebook. It seems like a desert anymore. So I've kind of given up on it. Let me go there now. I'll see if I can't. Left comments on Facebook. Patty, thanks for being on the team over on Facebook. Lone Ranger over there. God bless you for doing it. Sticking on the team. I see James 16897 and Honey West over on the Rumbles too. I do appreciate you. God love you. Ever since I swapped to the afternoons, Facebook has dried up, unfortunately. So it is what it is. But I'm glad you came over to YouTube to say hello. Let's all sing happy birthday to Joe. Go for it. I'll listen. You guys sing like producer James does. This is amazing. So good. You guys are So good. All right, how should we give away a couple of copies? I'm already going to be sending a copy to the gentleman in England whose name is escaping me at the top of my mind, but I have his address now, and I'm going to be mailing him a copy. So that's forthcoming. But I'm going to give out a couple of books each. How should we do it, James? Like, what can we do to give out some books today?
Tell Joe that he looks good in royal blue.
That would suck. I wouldn't.
Somebody did say that in the chat earlier, by the way.
Well, they're just sucking up. I don't know what to say. Like, that's... I just didn't wear the jacket today because I didn't want to sweat like a pig while I was trying to read today in this heat. So I chose not to wear the jacket. Mary says, thinking Catholic by design would be great for Christmas gifts for my adult children. Oh, that's very cool. I love that idea. Nicholas says, Joe, you're too old to say faves. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Jane says, my friend listens on Facebook. I forgot it yesterday or I would have got on. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like Facebook just doesn't want to play along anymore. Nicholas says, Joe, you should be a good hobbit and give us gifts for your birthday. That's what I'm going to do. Paul says, you look young for 62. Thanks, Paul. You're the best, pal. 52. Thank you. I'm 52, not 62. But okay. Appreciate that. Throwing digs. Our good friend Paul from Buffalo. April, thank you for the birthday wishes. Diane, God bless you. Thank you. Ouch. Mimi says, Facebook is for old people and recipes. Ouch. Facebook used to be the place, man. Not anymore. Catholic Warrior says, are you 55 yet, Joe? Get the gated community thing going. Don't I wish? I'd have to make producer James kind of cash to afford gated community. Oh boy, do pigs actually sweat? Asked Paul. Can we Google that? Can we fact check that? Do pigs actually sweat?
They do not sweat in the traditional sense.
Really? Are you sure about that?
If you would like more context, I can provide it.
Okay, well,
while they have a limited number of sweat glands, mostly restricted to their snouts, they are largely non-functional for cooling. Just in case you've ever stayed up late at night wondering these things.
Oh, the poor pig, man. What's the point to having a snout like that if it's non-functioning for cooling? Like, who designed this? Oh, yeah, God did. That's why. My mind is blown. Hey, Susan Webb, you are amazing. God bless you. I need my button, but I'm going to knock my books over. I got to be careful. It says, Ave Maria, so grateful for you on your birthday. God has done so much through you. Never doubt that. This world is so much better because you are here. Happy birthday from the Webbs. Well, that is so amazing. You are very kind. God bless you. Thank you for that. That was very, very generous. I do appreciate that. Thank you for doing it. I missed a comment. I went to see it. Cigar Mode, God bless you, brother. Thank you for your birthday wishes. Thank you for being a member of the channel. Catholic Martyrs RAP, thank you for being a member of the channel. I truly appreciate you being here. John Paul Sandoval, God bless you. Thank you for being on the team this afternoon. It really means a lot to me. Hey, is it Gregorian? Is that Gregorian Williams? Is that correct? Or Georgian? Is it Georgian?
Where
Georgian
are you
one?
looking?
There's a comment on the YouTubes. It says, happy birthday. Thank you for it. Pigs don't have sweat, says White Wolf. They spend all their time in the mud. Oh, it's the mud that cools them down. I forgot. That's why they wallow. That's why they wallow.
I'm going to go with Georgian on that, by the way.
Ferocious Pete, love the name. Says, Joe, my wife said she messaged you your Substack. I don't have a Substack. How did she message me? I don't have a... Do I have a Substack, James?
It's news
I
to
don't know.
me.
Let's find out.
Her only social media, happy birthday, but felt creepy because your Substack was empty. Ferocious Pete, please offer my mea culpa to your wife because I don't do Substack. So perhaps I have an account, but I use it to read other people's Substack. And I don't have anything for myself on Substack. But I am very grateful to your wife. Please tell her I said so. And I'm sorry that she found an empty room of nothing. A junior Holy Roman Emperor. Is the Roman Empire being handed over to you today? At my age, probably not. When you get to be my vintage, they just put you out to pasture. Or if you're in Canada, they offer you a doctor's appointment where they just kind of close things out. Call her done. Cigar Mode says at some point, start adding 10 years to your age just to impress people about how good you look. Oh, that's hilarious. That is so hilarious. I got to tell you, I in all sincerity, I do struggle with getting older. I can't express it enough. I know that I should look past that and pray for me that I do, but it is, you hear, as a man, you hear that ticking. And you just realize that your window of it's getting shorter, narrower. Your ability to, take some young punk who comes through your front door, by the throat and lift him up 7 feet off the ground. Like that is getting more harder by the day at this point, which is why I went out and bought kettlebells and I'm working out like every day now to fight back against the age. And the joints, like my joints, I'm just, it's so much harder now. Everything is harder at my age. And I still, in fact, I was thinking I really, 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 really want to go hike the Pemi Loop in New Hampshire. I sincerely want to go do it. It's like a 3-day, 30-mile hike of a ridge line of just mountain peaks that are like 4,000 to 5,000 feet in elevation. So not really that crazy, but like epic. And I got to do it before I can't. Let alone do something like, I don't even know, something bigger, more epic. It's like my ability to do anything like that is coming to an end. I better get after it while I still can. Mary says, he is coming even though fiction might wake up my children too. That is very kind of you to say so. T-Storm says, happy birthday, Joe. I hope that you receive everything that you need and almost everything that you want. Well, I like that you clarify the almost everything that I want. I do have wants, and that is one of my struggles. If I'm being honest, one of my struggles is I want what I cannot have. What it seems like God has not been willing to give me. Pray for me that I will accept his will and not my own. Because ultimately I only want God's will, but I do struggle with what I want. What do I want? I don't want to live in a neighborhood. I want to live in the country. I want to live on acreage. I want to have a truck camper, and I want to take my wife to epic places and camp on the edge of the Grand Canyon or the Finger Lakes in New York, or I don't know, everywhere. I want to show her epic and wild spaces and enjoy our twilight together. But it has not been God's good pleasure. Pray for me that I will accept his will in all things over everything that I would prefer. I missed, there was a comment. What happened? Lost it. I saw it for a second, then poof, it's gone now. My wife was getting ready for date night. She says to me, this dress makes me look like a pig. I need a compliment. I said, you have perfect vision. Man, that's a tricky piece of business right there. Jar Jar says, do you have a special birthday dinner? My wife and I went out to eat on Saturday. When we tried to splurge, we like to go to Fogo de Chao, which is a Brazilian steakhouse. And it's not inexpensive at all. So my kids gave me a gift card, and so my wife and I went to lunch there. And it's fantastic though, because it's a carnivore dreamland. it's the all you can eat meat that the best meat possible. It's fantastic. So my wife and I went there. We've enjoyed going there. Mac says, happy birthday, Joe. You share this date with Otto Frederick Rovetter. How do I say that name? Inventor of the first automatic bread slicing. I heard this earlier today. My dad told me this. He called me for my birthday earlier today. And he said, this was on this day. I thought he said it was 1928 that sliced bread was invented. And I said to my dad, well, honestly, I've been saying for a long time now that I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. So that does make sense. It does seem to jive well. Roxy, 52, still cannot ask for the senior citizens discount at Denny's. I know it. Alberto, your mom is 89. I'll be praying for your mom. My grandparents are still alive in their early 90s. Do keep them in your prayers. Senior 10, again, I'm praying for you to make a good response to your wife. Don't get in trouble. Cigar Mode says 107-year-old veterans at the 250 celebration on Saturday, showing up near midnight after storm delay. Give all you got for as long as you're here. Deo gracias. Hey, Mimi, thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your birthday wishes. Thanks for hanging out today. We'll be praying for you and for your family today as well. Dreams and goals are okay. Kvetching is not. What is kvetching? Can you look that one up? Kvetching? Kvetching? What is that? Is that what the kids are saying these days? Is that like
to complain, grumble, or whine incessantly, usually about minor or chronic annoyances.
You've been talking to my wife again, haven't you, Cigar Mode? She's been telling you stories, hasn't she? Forget the Grand Canyon, says White Wolf. Try the Book Cliffs outside Grand Junction or Castle Valley in Utah. I would love to. I'll put it on the list. I would love to go there. That'd be amazing. That would be awesome. Roxy Sage says, send Joe a gift card for Perry's Steakhouse in Spring, Texas. Woof, I've never been. We live just down the street from Perry's Steakhouse. I've never been. Couldn't afford it. Man, oh man. That's like rich folk stuff right there. I would love to go there someday. Someday that would be amazing. White Wolf says, we had a bread slicer. It was me. That was your job. Had to slice all the bread. Man, oh man. Vivo Cristo Rey, Joe, you're only 52. You are super young. Well, I pray that's true. It doesn't feel that way, but I pray it's true. The problem is if you get everything you want, then you have nothing to work towards and nothing to dream about. Yeah. I think it's good. I think especially men, I'm sure women too, but men have to be goal-oriented and focused. If we have no goals, if we have no missions, if we have no projects, we don't do well. We get wild and out of control. It's when we stay focused, right? So that's part of the reason why I like doing the book projects are really helpful to me. Stay focused. There's a documentary film that I still want to create using the footage that I filmed last year when I was in Greece and Turkey. That's 100 hours, 200 hours worth of work still to do. If I write the second book of He Is Coming, that's 100 hours or 200 hours still to do. So staying focused. But my issue is, it's at my age, I don't want to I don't want to die in a neighborhood with my neighbors 10 feet on both sides. If that makes any sense. It feels a fleeting, as the Portuguese would say. By the way, the Portuguese lost the World Cup. Man, oh man. Mexico lost. Mexico tried so hard. Man, they just could not pull off a victory, but they gave it their all. Nicholas says, Joe, if you're not as hot, can we have a full after show? I don't know. Did we decide how we're giving books away? We haven't decided.
We did not.
How are we going to give books away today? I like that. Cigar mode. Men, you can do things. Just do them. Exactly. 100%. That's the way it goes. White Wolf says Perry Steakhouse cannot cook potatoes, and their idea of medium rare is barely cooked. I don't know. I've never been to Perry's. Too expensive. Can't afford it. I suppose when you're paying that kind of cash, you should probably have undercooked food. The World Cup is rigged like everything else. I don't know. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. I don't think you have to rig the game very hard for the Americans to play that bad, because they played terribly. Brock from P-Town says, soccer is communist. Caring about World Cup is below the dignity of the Holy Roman Emperor. Ouch. That is great. That is so good. Get a big house on acreage with all your grown children. Don't I wish, Sean Murray? That's the dream right there. That is the dream. I don't see it happening, but that's the dream. How should we give the books away? What would be the best thing? What would be the best way? Unfortunately, I just didn't have much time today. I got up early. I was trying to get the books published. I learned a lesson the hard way. In fact, you might have gotten an email from me today on this. I got up early thinking, oh, today's the day I'm publishing them. And I hit publish. And then it immediately says it'll take 72 hours. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, how come I didn't know this? Why didn't I would have done this 3 days ago. So I spent the rest of the morning just, getting ready and rehearsing, reading chapter 1 and trying to decide how I was going to do it with the rest of the day. And I got the email out and I just didn't think about how I wanted to give books away. So I have no cool things. So how should we give the books away? I'm sitting here thinking about it. Hey, Gregorian Williams. Thank you. Is it Gregorian or is it Georgian? Georgian?
Definitely not Gregorian.
How do I say it? Georgian? Georgian.
Georgian.
Georgian? Georgian Williams? Georgian Williams. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Scroll the live chat names like a roulette wheel. I wish I had an easy way of doing that. Okay, I tell you what, we're going to do multiple giveaways. Okay. If you are a channel member, send me an email right now. First channel member to send me an email gets a book. You got to include your mailing address, obviously. I'm going to send you a paperback copy of the book. You got to be a channel member. Send me an email right now. And first one, I'll take the first one. Maybe I'll take two. I don't know. And I'll mail you a book. How do you get the email? Well, it's right there at thestationofthecross.com/ACT. It's right there.
We're going to need your YouTube username too, probably, right?
You might be able to send me a message through YouTube. So I don't know, actually.
If they email in, they'd have to give us their...
Channel members. First one to send me an email to that address with your address. I'll mail you a copy of the book. On the house, Deo Gratias, just to say thank you for being a member. I might do 2 channel members. So even if you're not quick on the draw, try it anyway. I want to be generous. How should we? Okay, now what can we do? Now what can we do? By the way, again, thestationofthecross.com/ACT. There's the email address right there. What else can we do? Be on the email list. That's another way to do it. I will give out a copy of whatever book you want through the email list. If you join the email list, I'll send an email out tomorrow. You can join the email list at thestationofthecross.com and /ACT and just smash the email sign up form. And click here to join the insiders. This is it. This big blue button right here. Join that email list. I'll send an email out I'll give out a copy that way as well. So that's another way to do it. How else? How else? Okay, I got another one. Share a social post on Twitter or X, Facebook, or LinkedIn of one of my posts promoting the books, and I will take the first one I see. I'll contact you, ask you for your address, and I'll mail you one. So there's 3 ways to do it right there. Channel members, you get first dibs because you're channel members. So all you got to do is send me an email with your address. I'll mail it to at least 2 of the channel members. I'll do one by the email list tomorrow. I'll send an email out tomorrow, and we'll give away one that way. And then the first person to share one of my social posts promoting the book to your list or to your people and tag me, make sure I'm tagged, and then I'll contact you, and first one I see, and I will reach out, ask you for your address, and I'll send you a book that way too. How about that? Is there any better way to do it? Let me know. How can I buy a book? Now that's now you're talking my language. Georgian Williams. Did we say it was Georgian Williams? Thank you again for being on. You can go and you can find the book in a couple of places. JoeMcClane.com/books, but it's all going to Amazon. My books are self-published on Amazon. So you can find them on Amazon. The links are in the description of the show notes today. So we did post them in the show notes today at thestationofthecross.com/ACT. You click the show notes and you will see right here, it'll say July the 7th, and it'll be linked up there. But joemcclane.com/books, the links are right there to each. They are available in both Kindle for 99 cents a piece, or you can get them in paperback as well. Paperbacks are more expensive, but nonetheless, great way to do it. I will work eventually. That's the other thing too, is narrating them into audio versions. So we'll have an audiobook version. I still got to work on that as well. I thought maybe if I could sell a bunch, I might pay someone to do it. You know, could you imagine like a Kennedy Hall or somebody like that reading them? That might be fun. I don't know. I wouldn't mind doing it myself. It's like probably 200 hours worth of work each book or something along those lines. 100 hours. I don't even know what it would take. It'd take a lot. I've narrated one book my entire life. I narrated Thomas à Kempis, The Imitation of Christ. It crushed me. It was so hard. So it's a lot of work. I thought it'd be kind of fun to pay someone to do it, but I'd have to sell a bunch of copies before I could afford to do that. So we'll see. But so right now it's available 99 cents. That will go up. We will increase this to, I don't know, something like $6 or $7, maybe. 6, 7. Is that what the kids say? 6, 7. At any rate, res maxing there. Maybe in 3 weeks, I think this goes up to like a higher price. So 99 cents for the next couple of weeks, I think is what we're doing for both books. But you can find them on Amazon. Amazon is just, it's just for self-publishing. It's really hard to beat because they will print on demand. So who knows? But joemcclane.com is a great place to go to. The question is, should I publish a hardcover? I didn't create hardcover versions of these books. I don't know that I will. Maybe I can do like a 1-year anniversary for them or something. By the way, I also put out a ebook on the meditations of the sorrowful mysteries of the Rosary based on my book Catholic by Design. And I'm actually already working on the glorious mysteries. I'm already, if you go to joemcclane.com/books, you will see where it says the Catholic by Design Meditations on the Sorrowful Mysteries. This is free. You can get this right now. So you can get this for free. It's just an email exchange. I'll email you the PDF. And I do plan on putting out the Glorious Mysteries next, and it's all based on this book here, Catholic by Design. So that would be great if you could pick that up too. On the Kindle, they are $1.41. Clayton Lee. I was thinking about, I was trying to plan a anniversary trip with my wife and I to celebrate our anniversary this September. My first choice was to go to Mexico City and see the Tilma, see Juan Diego. and some of the other sites with my lovely wife. But if that didn't work, the next one was thinking about maybe Montreal. Or what about Quebec City? If you had a choice, what would you say? Susan Webb says, just bought He Is Coming. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you for that. You're very kind. Thank you. I do appreciate you. White Wolf says, your book would be fun to narrate if the rest is like chapter 1. I could use my Winston Churchill voice. On the streets. So how's it say it? What was the Winston Churchill speech? On the streets, the beaches. How did it go, James?
You act like, please, I cannot do a Winston Churchill impression.
You are my AI bot. What do you, like, come on now. How's it go? The Churchill.
I'm far less useful than AI, first of all.
Oh,
You're
come
giving me way
now.
too much
Come
credit.
now. Paperback is for chuds. Hardcover is for Chad, says Nicholas Williams.
It's been decided.
It's been decided for chuds. Did we decide chuds was a bad thing? I forget.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. Rebecca says, I got Catholic by Design as a Kindle so I can read it now. And the other one is coming Friday paperback. Oh, that's cool. That's super cool. T-Storm says, one time Lord Cranky, but averted a terrible accident going over the cliff in what? And his whole family were treated to a dinner at Perry's Steakhouse. One time, Lord Cranky averted a terrible accident going over a cliff, and we, his whole family, were treated to a dinner at Perry's Steakhouse with dessert, and the whole jam, and it was absolutely amazing. Wow. What do you mean he averted an accident going over a cliff? Like what? I need more details of that. That's crazy. What's the email? Paul, the email is on the stationofthecross.com/ACT. It's right there. ACT@thestationofthecross.com. It's right at the top. It's right at the top. It's right there. Just go right there. Under 4 p.m. Eastern weekdays. You'll see it. Boom. Go for it. The Finest Hour movie. I actually like that one. That's got what's the guy who played Captain Kirk in the remake? That's the Coast Guard film, right? I like that one. The Finest Hour. Is that the one? Joey Carter, thanks for hanging out. Says Catholic by Design is on the way to me. I do need perspective. You are amazing. God bless you. Thank you for your support today. I'm a hardcover fan, says Susan Webb, but got the paperback. Love holding books in my hands. I do too. I'm a book guy. I love books. I like reading books, especially books that capture my attention. Now, my novel fiction is designed to keep her moving. It's designed to keep her moving. So, I wanted a faster pace story. So the first book only spans basically 3 days. The second book has to span a lot longer than that. But the first book is meant to keep her moving. Keep her moving. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brock from P-Town says, the Tilma is awesome, but the new Basilica may make you cry. Yeah, I already know about that. But I have to see the Tilma before I die, right? I mean, I live this close. And if I could move, I would move today to someplace much more beautiful than Houston, Texas, which I do not like. But to live this close, it's so cheap to get to Mexico City from here. It's literally like a 2.5 hour flight. It's cheap money, direct flights, no big deal. So it's very affordable to go down there for a long weekend. See the Tilma, go to Tepeyac, Juan Diego, and I still want to go see the Aztec pyramids as well, where Hernan Cortez, God rest his soul, the saint, defeated the devil himself. You know what kills me about Mexico City, though, is they still, all of these pagan Indian rituals are still happening today in Mexico City. Like they still, all these tourists show up and these pagan, witches, these pagan wizards or whatever are doing the smoke incense thing all over these tourists. And like, are you out of your mind? Do you want to be possessed by the devil? Like, get the heck out of Dodge. Our Lady of Guadalupe may or may not have a role in the upcoming books of He Is Coming. We'll have to see. We'll have to see, but there needs to be a reconquista in Mexico. T-Storm says, I retweeted on Twitter X. Does that count? Well, like I said, you got to tag me and I will go look. I will look later, and the first one I see will be the first one I contact to say, hey, thanks for the retweet, and I'll be giving some books away. So what did I say? I said I was going to give some books to channel members. Those were emails. I was going to give books away through the email list. I'll do that tomorrow. And then I said social media posts, right? I said that, right? Like, keep me honest here.
2 YouTube channel members who email into the ACT@thestationofthecross.com inbox, 1 email list person, and 1 social share.
All right. That's the deal. That's the deal. Already, that'll be 100% of all the profits I will ever make on the books. So it'll be a wash at that point. But I don't mind. It's okay. I'm not doing this to retire on. Take your wife to Our Lady of Champion in Door County, Wisconsin, the north into the Hamptons of the Midwest. Mac, I would love to, actually. I've been to Wisconsin a few times. It is a very beautiful state. I've been to Holy Hill outside of Milwaukee. I've been to Our Lady of Guadalupe outside in La Crosse. It's gorgeous. I've never been to Our Lady of Champion, though. I would go if I could. So that's definitely an option, I suppose. But I probably would go to Mexico City first. I probably would. Yes, go see the Tilma. Our Lady of Guadalupe image stays at a temperature of a living human being, 98.5 degrees. White Wolf, that's funny. That's hilarious. He says, the first book is meant to keep things moving. You're kidding, right? In chapter 1, you spent 10 pages on 5 minutes. It took me more than a half hour to read that first chapter. That's moving, right? We're moving. Things are moving. I don't know. I probably could have read it faster, but I was trying to be a little bit dramatic too at the same time. Brock from P-Town says, I went last summer and it was beautiful to see all the beautiful Catholic churches. Also venerated a first-class relic of Blessed Miguel Pro. Yeah, I got to do that too. I'm a big fan of Miguel Pro. That's why I put the Vivo Cristo Rey in the book, just because of my my great appreciation and fondness for Miguel Pro. God rest his soul. I don't know why he's not a saint. He ought to be. Susan Webb says, you have perspective. You have prospective neighbors ready and waiting in Kingsville. Kingsville. I've never been to Kingsville. I've got to drive down there sometime. Anyone else going to St. Louis for the beatification of Bishop Sheen? See Newton. James, are you taking an entourage? Did you get tickets?
I have not. Unless you want to take me, Joe, since you're feeling generous and giving us gifts for your birthday is what I've been told by Nicholas.
I think the tickets are
take
gone.
Me to St. Louis?
I don't think there's any tickets available at this point.
That's what I would say if I was trying to get out of having to buy somebody else a ticket.
That is exactly the answer that I would give if I were trying to also avoid taking anybody anywhere. I would go. Okay, can I be honest with you, though, that I'm like, Cardinal Tagley saying the Beatification Mass? God love Cardinal Tagley, honestly. God love him, but why? Cardinal Burke wasn't available? Honestly? Seriously? Like we couldn't get Cardinal Burke or what? Like what explains this? Who was in charge of it? Who made that decision? Like, I want there to be a Saint Fulton Sheen, I do. But that's frustrating to in the least. Am I the only one? Let me know. Temperature thing is a rumor, says Cigar Mode. The Knights of Columbus have an awesome site on Our Lady of Guadalupe and the Tilma Truths and the Tilma Truths and Myths. They have a website. Is that what you meant? Charging for a beatification, Simonine. Well, they have to charge entry because they or is it? Do they charge or is it available tickets? I actually don't. I should clarify. I could have said it wrong. How do we find tickets? Oh my I can't type here like this. Tickets.
C-New10 says there are tickets left, so you've been exposed.
I have been exposed. They're $28 to Fulton Sheen beatification. StubHub. Is that the right place? Get tickets to Get Louis tickets right now. Prices include all fees. Beatification of Archbishop Fulton Sheen. How many tickets would you like, James?
Who else are we bringing, I guess, is the question.
I'm not going. You're going. How many tickets do you want?
You're supposed to be coming with me. That defeats the purpose.
I can't go. I got to work, man. Somebody's got to work.
Oh, yes. Because we don't work for the same apostolate or anything and aren't in similar boats.
What was that guy that Jesus was given that parable? I have a wife and must go see her.
So bring the whole family.
I have 2 oxen and I have to go see them. Remember? I can't come to the wedding feast because I have a wife. Remember that? That was in the Gospels. Great. I love that one. It's one of my faves. Tickets should be a free will offering, says Cigar Mode. Because there will be so many people, the Dome can hold 100,000 people. And the tickets aren't inexpensive, that's for sure. I mean, they aren't expensive, so that's good. You can get them for $28 a piece, but you're going to be in the nosebleed section, it looks like, at this point. But honestly, that's a massive crowd that I'm not personally interested in hanging out with. Not that I don't love them all. I do. That's not it. It's just that I don't particularly care to be in giant stadiums filled with people. It's just not my thing. There is no state of emergency in the church. Burke, is anybody going to take this clown seriously? Is Burke the clown or am I the clown? I just want clarity on that one. That's all. Well, they still have to control. I mean, with using a stadium like that, I'm not surprised they're charging for that. They probably have a contractual obligation to do so. We have here in this neck of the woods a priest versus seminary basketball game every year. And we rented the one of the stadiums one year. I was a part of getting that started, and we rented one. I forget what was called the Regis Center. I forget what stadium it was. It was like a centrally located basketball arena that was belonged to the Houston Independent School District or whatever. They required that we charge for tickets. We didn't want to charge. We wanted it to be free, but they required it. It was a union thing. It was because they had people working and whatever. But so I wouldn't be at all surprised if this was a contractual obligation, which is why every ticket is $28. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not that bothered by it. It's a cheap enough price if you want to go hang out with 100,000 people in a stadium. Diane says, my sister in St. Louis got me a ticket to the Sheen beatification for my birthday. I'm going. Woo! Enjoy it. Senior Tim, because there will be so many people, the Dome. Yeah, there is a charge for tickets probably in the nosebleed section, and that's all that's left. Exact. Wisconsin has an NFL team. They do? Come on now. That's like saying Buffalo has an NFL team. Really?
Ouch.
Really? Illinois are losing theirs to Indiana. Indiana has a team already. It's called the Colts. Hello? Do they really need another one? I don't think so. Brock from P-Town's Joe could never go to Illinois. He is a lethal weapon. Are you saying that you're not allowed to have lethal weapons in Illinois? Do they have lots of them in Chicago? I don't know what you mean. Vatican prophets reported as way up basketball games with priests. Beatifications and canonization should be paid for out of the coffers we filled. Well, that's probably true. The basketball game between the priests and seminarians is actually a really good time. And the priest who came up with that idea, Father Preston Cantella, is a fantastic young man. He is a very heroic young priest, actually. Great guy. One of the first things that he did during the lockdowns was come say mass for me at my radio studio. Wonderful man. Built altar rails out of kneelers when he was threatened to never put an altar rail up. He just brought kneelers out. Got in trouble for it. Didn't care. Did it anyway. Great guy. Honestly, great guy. And those games have been really fun. Kids loved it. We've always had a good time watching the priests versus the seminarians. I took my family this last year. Nicholas says, Joe, my childhood diocese plays basketball like true Americans, but fake Hoosiers. Indiana has no baseball team. We need a better football team. I should have worn my Colts shirt. I've got a Colts shirt. Bishop Fulton is already in my heart, so I'm figuring it doesn't make sense to go. I don't know. 100,000 people. That's a lot of people. Getting a hotel room? Good luck. What's the hotel going to cost? That's the question. Only time I'll ever be able to see a beatification, those don't happen in the U.S. Okay, that's a solid point. Now there you're making sense. Like if this is your only chance to go to a beatification, then yeah, I guess then it kind of makes sense to do that. If it's your one opportunity. $28 is cheap money, but you do need a place to stay. See, now if I had that truck camper that I dream about every day, then I would need a hotel. Just we're going to go up in the truck camper, sleep in the parking lot, be ready for mass. The Bears are moving to Indiana. Are we being serious? Are they still going to be the Chicago Bears, but they're going to be housed and train in? Is it going to be like the New York? Is it the Jets that play in Jersey? Or
that's correct. Yeah,
the New York Jets.
So
it's going to be like
they're building
one of
a
those?
new stadium in Indiana,
but they're still going to be called the Chicago Bears.
As far as I know, yeah.
Why?
Because
why don't they just
reasons?
Because reasons.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Why are the Jets called the New York Jets? Who knows?
I don't know either. Hey,
New
Brock
York
from
only
B-Town.
has one football team, and it's in Buffalo. I'm just saying. Argue with a wall.
Wyoming has been without professional sports team for a while. We can entertain ourselves all we want with guns and small explosives. Yay and amen. Wyoming is epic. If you've never been to Wyoming, you owe it to yourself. I've driven through Wyoming twice. It is absolutely epic. You want to drive, and like when you drive through Wyoming, the land moves like waves on an ocean. You're like a boat riding a wave. It's epic. And the second time I drove through there, which was in 2020, when I was going up to Montana on a mission trip with my family, I was hauling an RV. And there was snow on the ground. And everybody was headed south, and I was the only one headed north. It was fantastic. It was truly epic. We got caught in a snowstorm in Wyoming at an RV park. It was great. I could totally live in Wyoming. It's amazing. It's a beautiful state. Truly a beautiful state. The problem with Wyoming, though, is if you want to live in like Jackson Hole, where it's green or nicer in the Tetons area, whatever, good luck. God bless. You're going to have to be as wealthy as producer James is to afford that. You could if you can afford to live in that part of Wyoming, then you can probably go to the beatification because you can afford to do it. You can probably eat at Perry's Steakhouse as well. Very likely. They're going to be called the Gary Gangsters, says Nicholas Williams. Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington. Okay, sure. But Arlington is a suburb of Dallas. I know it has its own municipality, but who's counting? They're basically a suburb of Dallas, just like Fort Worth is a suburb of Dallas, sure. But it's not like a different state. Arlington is just down the road. It's just, next door. I mean, if you're in a different state, how can you claim to be Chicago, Illinois, if you're actually in Indiana? If you're in New Jersey, how can you claim to be the New York Jets? As Holy Roman Emperor, I would, of course, correct all of these things. I would take care of it all. What are we bringing up Adolf's and 9/11 again out of Buffalo?
Ooh.
What's going on there? Like, are you guys just all racist because you eat blue cheese, or what? Like, what's the angle?
They're
there?
both popular spots. I don't know what the debate is, though.
Where did we eat? Where did you take me?
Bar Bill Tavern.
Bar Bill, that's what it was. Bar Bill was good. It was very good, very, very good. But he didn't take me to Adolph's or 9/11.
Joe ate the blue cheese.
I did my bit for King and Country. I was on the team.
He finished it. I will say that. He finished the blue cheese.
It's great.
If I didn't like it, I would probably just try it once and like set it off to the side, but that's not at all what happened. I'm just throwing it out there.
Ah, dang, man.
Speaking
right
the truth.
under the bus right there. That's yeah. Resmaxing. That's what that is. Paul says, a friend of mine is selling her house here in Cheyenne. If you're interested. What? Oh, I wish. I'd have to sell a lot of books to afford it. I would. Wyoming is beautiful. Gorgeous state. Epic. The vistas. There's a mystical quality to Wyoming that's quite nice. But if you don't live in Cheyenne, you're pretty much out in the middle of nowhere. We almost broke down too. In fact, we were on our way home. We had gone up to Montana. We came back. We headed south. We went through Yellowstone National Park, had a fantastic time at the park. We were coming out of the park, Grand Tetons to the right, and we took the left to make our way back south again. I forget what road that is. It's right after the Tetons. And we came through just sort of like the valley opened up and there was another mountain range. And I had to stop and take it all in. So I pulled over. I'm driving my 15-passenger van, pulling an RV, and I pull over into this little pullover, middle of nowhere, nothing around, just this beautiful valley in front of us with mountains in the distance. And I'm just like, I want to take it home with me. I want to because Houston is so ugly, so flat, so humid, so lifeless, so lacks soul that I wanted this forever. And I'm just taking it in. And then it was time to go. I go to grab the gear shifter and throw it in drive. And then the gear shifter's loose in my hand like a slinky. And I'm like, that ain't a good sign. And all of a sudden, I couldn't put the vehicle in gear. And then all my wife could think was, we're going to be eaten by grizzly bears. She was sure that we were going to sleep there that night, and grizzly bears were going to come in, rip the RV apart like a can of sardines and just have a meal. She was pretty sure of it. But by the grace of God, I didn't know what was wrong. I mean, but there was one other guy at this little pull-off, and he was there waiting because it was towards sunset. It was towards the evening, and he was waiting for moose to come out. So he had his camera, and he was waiting for a moose to come out so he could take a picture of this moose or whatever. And he just happened to be there. And he just also happened to be a mechanic. So he crawled under my van, realized the shifter had whatever was connecting the shifter to the gearbox had broken. And so I got some coat hanger that I had in my toolbox, and we coat hangered that thing back on, shifted it, and got to Laramie, Wyoming. And it was great because we put a message on the Facebook that, hey, got stuck and headed towards Laramie, and the Catholic College in Wyoming there, what's that called? it's not called Catholic University, but there's like a Catholic college in Wyoming. Pretty amazing one. Like that community was like, hey, if you need anything, come see us, because they're in Laramie too. They're like, hey, we'll take care of you, no problem. We got mechanics, we got friends. And I was like so blown away by the hospitality and whatever by these strangers. It was really pretty amazing. Wyoming is allegedly view maxing so hard, zero cap, all riz. Is it even real though? Yeah, actually it is. Totally real. Hey guys, thank you for all your birthday wishes. Thanks for the fun conversation. Thanks for letting me have a more relaxed day and just read to you these books. They're not going to be perfect, but I hope they are helpful. And thank you for purchasing them. And looking forward to giving them away. God love you.